Hi, shot put fans. Coach Walmuth here. We're going to look at one of the most underrated throwers, really, in the last 10 years for sure, is Tomasz Majewski of Poland. I mean, this guy is a big-time thrower at the biggest events. Well, just look at his resume, right? Two-time Olympic gold medalist in the men's shot put. In 208 Beijing, 212 in London, and this is his London throw. And let's just have a look at, he's a glider, and a very successful glider, very consistent glider. So let's have a look at what he brings to the event and why he's so successful. I guess the first thing why he's so successful is in his height. I mean, the guy is 6'10", so his height of release, along with the three important components of throwing fire, of course, the speed of release, the height of your release, and of course the angle of the release is all important here. So he's got one of those criteria checked off, probably the best in the world. I haven't seen a thrower 6'10" in a long time at this level, okay? So let's have a look at some of the smart things that he's doing correctly. Okay, first of all, back to the sky. We see a lot of young throwers on an inclined plane here. I can see their face if they were in this field of view. That's the first thing. So his back is to the sky. The other thing we can see is his elbow here. His elbow is nice and high. In fact, it's if you looked at it from a different perspective, it is parallel with his shoulders across the top. So he's looking good there. Now, what's his? He's going to get into his drive phase now. He's kind of in a stationary starting position. And what he's going to use, he's going to use his right leg and his left leg to move across circle, okay? So the right leg is going to push this way. All right, so let's have a look at this. So he's going to push this way with the right leg. His left leg is the drive phase towards the front of the circle. So for one, this is a really critical point because a lot of young throwers simply push off with their right leg for a right-handed thrower. They're constantly and they forget about that left leg, and that's a no-no. You really want to have a double drive phase in the men's shot put, women's shot put too. There's no difference. So if you look at this, what he's going to do now is he's going to take that left leg and he's going to, what I call a pendulum approach, bring it in, out, and drive to the front. His right leg will drive or push from the back. So he's got really two opposite forces at work here. So let's see where he ends up as he moves across the circle. So he's going to get into his drive phase. You can see there's a lot of schools of thought around this. You can bring your leg up high, low. It doesn't really matter. But nevertheless, as he comes in, he tries to remain low. So he comes in, drives the left leg across. Look at that. That's a great... Well, you'd have to, if you did it correctly, you would be in a split position, right? So in other words, look how far apart his feet are. They're considerable distance. You'll also notice here that he's come off. Some people come off their toe, and some people come off their heel. Thomas comes off his heel. I've seen it both ways. Both are equally successful, but many would advocate coming off the heel is probably the best. But it all depends on you. Which do you feel more comfortable with? There's really no perfect way of doing this. It depends on the thrower, him or herself. You'll notice that his elbow still remains high. His eyes are back. His gaze towards the back. He's not prematurely turning his head. Those are all critical points in this phase. Let's see where he wants to go now. So his right foot, he wants to get somewhere in the middle of the circle. Somewhere, I know he's a tall guy, but he wants to get in this with his toe pointing, hopefully further to the right on the circle as he comes to the center. His left leg is his block leg, and a guy this size is going to get to the front of the circle really quick. So he wants to make contact here against the stop board. I mean, he wants to make contact. I tell a lot of athletes, if you get a long jumper that can run down 30, 35 meter approach run and come within 1 centimeter of the takeoff board, a shot putter can move across a 2.13 circle easily and place his foot within millimeters of that board. And if you can't do that, that's something you have to work on, right? So just a comment there. So as he moves to the front of the circle, you can see he's made some really good contact here with his blocking side, okay, his left foot, and his right foot now has solid. You can see he's on the ball of his foot. Now, what would be the best approach here, obviously, is for him to make that turn in his throw here. So what I mean by that is he wants to turn the toe in the direction of his throw. He wants to rotate his knee in that sequence, followed by his hips, obviously. So we want the lower body to lead. Now, with a big, tall guy like this is really tough, and he tries his best. I would advocate in this position right here, I would have loved to have seen him like this, just squared off like this. And you can see his shoulders are this way now, okay? So better square off there, Thomas. Anyway, so what he wants to do at this particular phase now is he wants to block that whole left side. So he wants to be stiff down through here. And the way he's going to do that, he's going to swing his left arm around here, and it'll come to a stop down around here somewhere, which he opens the door to allow the releasing of the shot this way. At the same time as his lower body's turning to the throw in the direction of the sector, what he's going to do is you'll notice a little lifting action here. So let's get rid of a lot of that mess and have a look at those few next frames. Here he's making his turn. You can see now he's in a full power release position. So his hips are really in a good position there. They're square to the throwing sector. His knee, his hips are all pointed in the sector. He's come around here with a left side block. He's down here with a block. And that's what you want to do. You want to block that left side for that right-handed thrower. Now at this particular point, his height of release, just to let you know, is somewhere on the order of 2.2 meters in height. So he has a huge height of release advantage against a lot of the other throwers. At this particular phase of the throw, he's got a good block. He wants to now switch off to the right side of his right foot to the toe board to act as his block. And for a guy this size, it will be everything in order to save the throw. Let's have a look at the next couple of frames here. So he's lifting the shot, releasing the maximum release velocity, catching himself. You can see here he's making every effort to catch himself at the circle. And Thomas has a rather unique or unorthodox way of kind of catching himself. I want you to pay attention to this left leg here. It will go up. And I don't advocate this. It's just because he's found a method which he can work with. And I'll back that up just a little bit more so you can see that. That is a rather unorthodox position, but I would advocate many throwers would not obviously have to do this. He's just making every effort. It's something that he's kind of come up with to maintain his balance in the recovery phase. And as he releases the shot, he's got a nice high release in the shot. And it lands out at an Olympic gold medal performance of 21.89 meters. A really good throw here for Thomas. So let's have a look at his entire throw again, just in regular speed as he comes across here. Notice the double drive phase, blocks, switches, and releases the shot for a successful gold medal. Congratulations, Thomas. Any comments or anything, you can leave them at the bottom of the screen. We also got some other throws, other gliding and rotational shot stuff, even some javelin and discus. So stay tuned to this channel for more in the future. Thank you for listening.